Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie. I am so incredibly excited about this. If you go super duper far back on my YouTube channel, I used to play Five Nights at Freddy's on this YouTube channel like way back in like 2016, 2017. And this was a very, very big part of my childhood growing up. Literally elementary school, middle school, all those years I spent playing an ungodly amount of Five Nights at Freddy's, and they finally made the movie. Let's talk about it.
Modded movie review.
Alrighty, so right off the bat, I want to go ahead and say this. If you are a diehard fan of the video games, you will probably very much enjoy this movie. There's definitely a lot to like. There's a lot of nods and Easter eggs towards things that very big diehard fans will definitely pick up on. I don't want to spoil too much of them, but there are definitely a lot of things to really enjoy in this movie. I will say, overall, the horror aspect of this movie was a little disappointing, and I kind of wish that they went for rated R in this movie. I think that this movie had a lot of really good things going for it. I think that all the actors and actresses in it were pretty solid, and they all came to show out. But at the end of the day, that PG-13 rating kind of really killed a couple of the big scenes for me. So to get right into this, right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and say spoiler warning for people who have not seen the movie. I am going to be talking about a movie that I had very strong opinions about, so I can't really do that without accidentally saying things that might potentially ruin the movie or experience for you. So if you haven't seen this movie, go ahead and click off this video and maybe come back and watch it later after you've seen the movie. But that being said, let's get right into this. So, I personally am just going to go ahead and say this right off the bat. As somebody who has been looking forward to this movie for a really long time, I think it is insanely disappointing. I think that this movie is very lackluster, and I think that if it wasn't advertised to be a horror movie, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more. I think that this movie is very similar to the books, where it's not really as scary. It's just stuff that takes place in a town where something scary happened. I think that there are definitely a lot of aspects of it that are very horrifying. I think that the animatronics, when they show them in the exo suits or whatever that are underneath them, it's kind of freaky, and when they first show the creation of them, it's kind of freaky. But at the same time, the majority of the time when they're walking around and stuff like that, they look incredibly animated, which at first I was kind of like, I think it's a really cool design choice. I really like it, but it really does take you out of the world for a little bit whenever you see them walking around, and sometimes their size doesn't 100% stay consistent all the time. There's sometimes you'll see Foxy and he'll look like he's about 9 feet tall, and then there's other times you'll see Foxy and he looks like he's about 6 feet tall. And I don't know if that was just me and maybe that was the camera angles or the perceptions, but there were certain angles where you would look at them and you're like, I think I'm the same height as this animatronic. And part of the thing that makes it as scary as it is how much bigger it is compared to, the humans that are interacting with it in the movie. But yeah, overall, I'd say this movie wasn't very scary, and I think that definitely did kill it for me. Me personally, I've been looking forward to this movie for a really long time, and as somebody who played every single one of the games, with every single game, the jump scares got scarier and scarier and scarier, and I was really expecting this movie to leave me almost having nightmares, like the original games had me having nightmares, and it didn't do it for me. Something like I mentioned before, it's rated PG-13. There are quite a few jump scares where I feel like it could have been really terrifying, but they cut away the second something scary happened because they couldn't show the blood and the gore and the aftermath of everything that was going on. There is one individual sequence where you can see a lot of gore that I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. But since that's not the entire movie, it very much feels like they downplayed it a lot. And they really wanted to play it safe. They really wanted to make it something that was age appropriate for younger audiences. And I feel like I said already a couple times, that was a bad decision. I feel like somewhere somebody on the executive team should have been like, hey guys, this is a horror movie. We're going to make it rated R. And they should have stuck with that. Because there's one sequence where they open up a closet, and it's towards the end of the movie, and you find all the dead bodies from earlier in the movie. And that sequence, there are some faces that they quickly go over that are pretty fucked up, and that part is a little scary and gory. But other than that, you see blood maybe 2 times in the entire movie. I was really defending this movie online because a lot of people were saying that the trailers looked very incomplete and that they kept showing the same 3 clips, that they didn't think that this movie had a whole lot to share. And I've been defending it oh my god, this is just because it's a trailer. They don't want you to know everything that's going to happen in the movie. They're just keeping it at a limit right now. But no, the trailers really do show pretty much every horror thing that happens in the movie. Like I said, blood is only shown twice in the entire movie. This movie feels insanely PG in comparison to the majority of PG-13 movies that have came out this year. This year, there's been a lot of rated PG movies that have been pushing the limits of rated PG, and a lot of PG-13 movies that have been raising the limits for rated PG-13. So for this to be a very like safe movie that doesn't really dive into, you know, the gore or the massacre or the like murders, like the Bite of 87 is not something that is touched on at all in the movie. And they really don't give us a whole lot of information at all, actually, about a lot of the lore and stuff like that. Like you learn it a little bit over time, but there's like 3 or 4 conversations that Mike has with Vanessa, who's the police officer, and it literally is like the same exact conversation where we get the same exact information over and over and over again. And it's like, it killed me. I was like, really? They're just going to keep giving us these same exposition bombs. And later at the end of the movie, it kind of gets like revealed in a throwaway line from Matthew Lillard's character that like Vanessa was supposed to leave him in the dark, so he wasn't supposed to know anything. And it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe that's why she wasn't saying anything. But at the same time, she wasn't saying anything. Like 90% of her lines were just her repeating the first set of lines that she said, which kind of drove me insane. Another thing about this movie that I kind of was very disappointed about, Matthew Lillard, the man, the myth, the legend. He played Stumacher, one of the original Scream face killers, somebody who's been in a lot of different horror-related things, somebody who is pretty good at horror and playing horrifying people who are villains, people who are, you know, terrifying. And he is in the movie for, I want to say, maybe about 3 minutes. You get the phone call sequence that you see from all of the trailers, and you can tell there's something off about him from that. You get like a minute and a half of him on the phone and a minute of him like telling Mike, hey, you really need a job. You should give me an opportunity. I can give you a job. You're going to really enjoy this job. And then at the end of the movie, when he comes back, it just feels like such an afterthought, because like the big reveal that, oh my God, he's in the Scream Bonnie costume doesn't feel like a big reveal at all. Obviously, for all of the fans who saw it and knew everything that was going on already, it wasn't going to be that big of a reveal anyways, but like, it really felt like they were like, we'll just throw him in there at the end of the movie and people are going to love it. And I personally feel like the entire last act of this movie was insanely anticlimactic. It all took place in about like 10 minutes, and the entire buildup for it was almost way more entertaining than the actual climax of the movie. And it kind of drives me insane. But yeah, so to talk about this movie as a whole, though, I haven't really gotten into what the actual plot of this movie was, and part of the reason why it like threw me off is because it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. This movie dives heavily into the disappearance of the kids back in the 80s. It talks about the ghosts that are possessing all of the animatronics. They have the big reveal that like the reason why the bodies were never found is because they are literally inside of the animatronics. And that's a line that is horrifying to think about, but I really wish that that also could have been like revealed in like a rated R type moment where like he shocks one of the bodies and you can like see like, I was gonna say like blood or something, but it'd be way after the fact for blood or something to come out. But I don't know, I just wish that was something that could have been revealed by us like seeing a corpse or something inside of one of the suits. But that being said, we did get the Springtrap sequence where we watch Matthew Lillard get impaled by the spring traps and slowly get killed by the suit. And I thought that was okay. Like, I feel like, once again, that could have been done much better. I also really hate the voice of Spring Bonnie in the trailer is, like, one of the best parts of the trailer. And I don't think you ever hear that laugh or that voice in the movie, because you can literally just hear Matthew Lillard's basic voice with, like, a little bit of an animatronic, like, going on with it. And that was disappointing. But yeah, so overall, I will say this for people who are planning on going to go see it, even after I just completely ripped on it this entire video. It is insanely funny. I will say that. It is incredibly entertaining, and I was not expecting to laugh as much as I did in this movie, but it is a very, very funny movie. Oh, and Matt Pat got a cameo. I already added a spoiler. I've been like purposely not saying that the entire video, and then I remembered I gave a spoiler warning. Matt Pat showed up in the video. Isn't that amazing? I mean, in the movie, isn't that amazing? He was a little like waiter, and I loved it so much. And one of my favorite things though about this movie, now that I've said so many negative things, I'm gonna leave off with one good thing and then give my rating. I like that the majority of the jump scares in the movie are little mini balloon boys that are just like chilling around all over the store. Because there was one in the office. Mike is like randomly like looking around his surroundings. He opens up a locker and it's Balloon Boy. And then later they're in like what's it called, like a maintenance closet or something like that, where he's getting like brooms and stuff like that. He looks to the side, it's Balloon Boy. And then there's an end credit scene, which is also another Balloon Boy jump scare, and I love it. It's so great. But yeah, so to go ahead and give a final rating for this movie, I don't necessarily think it's bad. I just think that it wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't horrifying in the least, and as a movie that's supposed to be a horror movie, that was a little disappointing. But I think that they did a good job showing like character grief and how like your past can come back to haunt you, and you really need to like let go of the past and live your best life in the future. Look to the future. I'm gonna give this movie a solid like 61 out of 100. It was not what I wanted out of this movie, and I'm really hoping that if they do end up making a sequel, it's better, because I was very disappointed in this. And if they do make a sequel, they better make it rated R, because I don't think you should have done this movie rated PG-13 in the first place. But yeah, that was it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry for being so negative this entire video. I really wanted to love this movie, but I just couldn't. So I am so sorry for that. But yeah, that was it for this video, guys. If you liked it, feel free to leave a like down below. And I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Pow.
He wanted me to trouble first, I did this. We planned a day and then we did this. Wanna be in love with the girls with the kisses. Don't give a damn, I'll rid this. I like this when I run the distance. I run a 5K, you go ballistics. I wanna live within the business. Buy more than what's on the clearances. You're getting big cause I know you're a physicist. I wanna deny this shit, I'm unlimited.